Do 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 do.
The Australian Television Network and associated stations presents The Bert Newton Show!
Hello. Thank you. You little beauty. Karma Roys. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Terrifico. Yes. Just my sort of audience, all shapes and sizes and ages and demographics. There's a girl in tears already, the girl in the black there. Don't cry, love. The show gets better. There's more than just me on the show. How are you? Well? Good on you. Give us a wave. That's a little baccarat wave there. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you here. Lots of lovely people for you to meet on the programme today. And incidentally, I would like you to just keep in mind that later on the show we're going to do, for the first time on this programme, a request segment. And we have two of Australia's finest singers in Barry Crocker and Colleen Hewitt. And this is legitimate. We're going to ask you to call out requests, and they will do their best to sing your requests. And I'd like this to work for two reasons. Number one, because I think it makes nice television and they're very nice people. And secondly, it was my idea. So if you could just think about the sort of songs you'd like Barry or Colleen, or even if you want to, I'll be there with Joe and Barry and Colleen. And if there was anything that you had in mind, any of the more modern stuff, don't go too far back for me, the more modern stuff I'd love. What are you going to do, Joe, in the request segment? Of course he is. Big success on Monday when Joe actually starred nationwide when he played Rhapsody in Blue. A slight problem for the opening of the show. One of my cameramen who was with me from day one on the show, Wayne Lavender, who's on 4, and it's a fine cameraman and has turned out to be a great mate. It's his birthday today.
Oh.
But, yeah, sure. But see, there's a... No, please don't sing it. No, you'll get me sacked, because we had a long meeting the other day, huge meeting of all the people who are important on the show, Jim McKay and myself, and we decided that we'd been slightly overdoing the birthdays, and when he pointed out to me in, I think, 1 7-show run, we had 9 birthdays, 8 cakes, 1 bottle of champagne, and we thought it was just going too far. So, to get out of this, this is the last time we'll do it, but I've got a bottle of champagne for Wayne for his birthday and also a bottle of champagne for Jim. So there you are, Wayne. Happy birthday to you. All the best, mate. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Well, there you go. And that's it. Happy birthday, Wayne, and many of them. To open the show today, it's nice to welcome an old friend who also is starring with Colleen and myself later in the show in the request segment. You won't be able to miss him. He's very tall and very talented. You get a kick out of Barry Crocker, so get another kick from him. Here's Barry.
I get no kick from champagne, beer, alcohol, it doesn't thrill me, oh. But tell me what can I do? 'Cause I get a out of you. Some guys may go for cocaine. I'm sure that if I took even one sniff, it would bore me terrifically too. But I get a kick out of you. I get a kick every time I see you standing there before me, I get a kick, though it's clear to see that you obviously you don't adore skinny old me. Oh, I get no kick in a plane flying too high with some gal in the sky. It's my idea. Ooh, I've nothing to do, but I get a kick out of you. I get a kick every time I see you just being there before me, and I get a kick, though it's clear to see that you obviously you don't adore me. Oh, I get no kick in a plane flying too high with some gal in the sky. It's my idea of nothing to do, but I get a kick. You give me a cause I've got you under my skin. That's why I get a kick out.
Mr. Barry Crocker. Good to have him with us. And I get a kick out of you. Lovely singer, and has had a reasonably hard road to hoe, because whatever he does, Sinatra always looks after the arrangement, and it's just been wonderful to have Barry get up there and do it again. Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest for today in the host area is someone that is admired by everybody in television, and I guess more importantly for ratings and for popularity by you too. A fine journalist, great television talent. Please welcome Peter Couchman.
Oh, that theme. Thank you for that. That takes me back 10 years.
That's the Channel 10 theme,
That's
isn't
the
it?
Channel 10 theme.
Well, as a matter of fact, when you were doing commercial television with them, Ross Burton was your musical director.
He was. Hello, Ross. I see a lot of familiar faces around here. Somebody said to me, aren't you in the wrong channel? I said, I don't know where I am, because I've seen so many familiar faces on the floor.
Have you ever actually worked
Ross?
for Seven before?
No.
No?
No.
So it was... Neither of say that, so don't worry. ABC and 10 mainly?
Right, that's all.
How did you find that venture into commercial television after so much time at the
Pretty
ABC?
traumatic. Pretty
Why?
traumatic.
Why?
I made the mistake of assuming, because I'd had so many years in the ABC, that when I went into commercial television, it was Channel O at that time, that they knew all about it, that I didn't know anything about it, because I'd worked in the cloistered atmosphere of the ABC for so long, and that if they said something, they must be right. And it took about 12 months for me to understand that they knew nothing about it at all.
So it was a nervy
They're not there
experience.
anymore.
Right. Peter, 25 years in television, also lots of radio too. And the one thing that none of your fans behind the scenes of the show, and everyone who knows you behind the scenes of the show is a fan of yours, you've got an amazing popularity with people with whom you've worked. No one could tell me exactly how you started off and what you were doing before television.
I was an actor.
No.
Well, for 2 years I was an actor.
Doing what?
We travelled around. I had a contract with the Elizabethan Theatre Trust, and I worked with a company of 7 actors. Well, there were 7 of us in the company doing Shakespeare in jeans. We had black trousers and fencing blouses, and we went around schools mainly, but a lot of country towns, changing characters by throwing different cloaks over us and doing abridged versions of Shakespeare. We did Macbeth, Merchant of Venice, Julius Caesar. There was no limit to our ambition. We just changed cloaks and we were a different character.
I'd never heard of that before. Had people heard of it when you were doing it? Did you get good crowds?
We did. It's quite devastating, actually, because I was working somewhere in Queensland a couple of years ago, and a middle-aged woman came up to me and said, "I saw you when I was in school." And I thought, I can't be that old, surely.
What about Shakespeare? What's your favourite bit? I thought you might like to do perhaps a prose.
Oh, an excerpt. I think the play I enjoyed most was Merchant of Venice.
What did you play?
I played Lorenzo, one of the young lovers. But that was one of the parts I played. I did a lot of narrations. Because we abridged it, we used to have to we'd do a scene, then while the other actors were changing the basic set and cloaks and so on, I would step forward and say, well, in the meantime, Shylock has been doing this and such has been happening. But we had an impossible scene because after the trial in Merchant of Venice, it's incredibly dramatic. And then Lorenzo and Jessica have this rather soppy love scene, you know, so softly the moonlight sits upon this bank and so on. And the school kids...
Do it again, Do it again.
Any audience is bored stiff and they don't want a love scene. And Shakespeare constructs his plays beautifully, but I think he made a blue there.
OK, so that's news to a lot of us. And then, fortunately for all of us, you went into journalism, to television, and also into radio. And the incredible thing about your career, Peter, is that, I mean, you can be hard in your work as a journalist. You can get your foot in the door as much as anybody else in the industry, and yet you retain a tremendous reputation and also your integrity. Is that something you have to work at, or is it something that's there?
You do. I mean, I'm pleased and flattered to hear you say that, because I think you have to have people trust you in this business. You know, I've been asked to do... We all have to do things we don't like doing. I mean, I hate doing these doorstop type things, because I think if I want to interview you, I should ring you up and ask you if you want to be interviewed, and if you say no, I should try and persuade you that you should do the interview. And if you still say no, I think you've got a right not to be interviewed. But public figures are regarded as fair game. And I always remember once... Andrew Peacock, I mean, he's had a lot of troubles in his time, but I've forgotten exactly what the occasion was, but he was saying, I'm not going to say any more to the media, I don't want to say anything. And my producer at the time said to me, get out there and doorstop him. And I objected. I said, he's not going to say anything. Why should I do this? And I was sent out to do it. And I thought, I don't want to do this. Am I going to do it? Am I not going to do it? And of course, the journalist in me said, I have to do it. And I sat out there with the crew muttering, and I thought, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into his office. Barry Simon was his private secretary at the time, and I said to Barry, I don't want to do this, but I've been sent here by my producer. Will you tell Andrew that when he comes out, I'm going to be there? And I don't want to be there, but I'm going to be there and I'm going to doorstop him. So he said, OK. We went outside, waited in the car park where I thought his car was. After a while, out comes Andrew saying, where are you? I've been out at the front door looking for you. I got the interview with Andrew Peacock. He didn't say anything, but I got the interview.
That's wonderful. Just thinking, Peter, it might be nice to welcome to the couch with you somebody who worked on all those years ago, Barry Crocker, who opened the show for us. Is Barry there? Barry Crocker, ladies and gentlemen. You just happen to have an album there, do you?
It's nice to work with a fellow thespian. I had no idea.
Yes, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Did you? Not at all.
I kept it quiet for a long time. Yeah. See, I felt I wasn't going to be taken seriously as a journalist if people thought I was an actor, because I think you're just putting on an act. And I think you have to be sincere.
Yes.
And you have to be seen to be sincere. People have to believe you.
Certainly. Peter, we're just talking about foot in the door journalism. Barry, you've been in the industry for a long, long time, not necessarily in the journalistic side of it.
Certainly not.
But how do you feel about that development now in television?
I think it makes for good television. I really do. I think people going in there and knocking on people's doors and surprising them. I think there's a sort of a voyeurism about the whole thing, and I think it makes good television.
Not an invasion of people's privacy?
Well, it is. And if I was the person, I'd be very upset by it. But I think that people...
Well, that's two standards, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But I think that it's the honesty of the whole thing. The way I feel is the fact that, I will watch that sort of program because I want to see how people will react. Not only as an actor, but as a person.
It can rebound on the reporter. I mean, it rebounded on me. I just don't do it anymore. But I did it only about 18 months ago when I was in New Zealand working on a story, and there was a doctor involved in this case, and there was a very strong case for him to answer, and it was documented by a Royal Commission. So I felt it wasn't me being judge and jury. This man had something to say publicly, and he was being very arrogant and simply refused. I asked him many times, I did all sorts of things to get him to do an interview, and he refused. And I thought, right, the public has at least a right to see you, sir. So I staked him out. We staked him out the morning before. We found out what time he went to the hospital, And so we were ready for him. And I walked in and I door-stopped him, and he had a limp and a stick.
Oh.
And he took to me with his stick. But it looked very bad for me. And what I'd wanted to do was to try and arouse public outrage at what this man had done. Instead, I aroused public... He gained sympathy.
But still, watching your show, as I do, and last night, for example, the smoking debate on Couchman, the one thing you can do, and that is you can be tough on people, but there is still, obviously, in your heart and your mind and in your being, a caring for other people, and I just think that's not always shown with other journalists. Anyway, the important thing that I want to talk to you about is your time in the Philippines. I listened to a radio interview with you some years ago, Peter, and I found it fascinating. It started off on a very, very minor subject, I thought, about the weather. We were complaining about the weather here in Australia and how the tropics were always so enjoyable, and then they got you into this area and you said it almost drove you mad eventually.
The climate, yes. I came back, I always remember, not long after I came back from Asia, Bert said to me, "My God, have you got amoebic dysentery or something?" I mean, the humidity does terrible things to you, and you just don't realise what it's doing. It drains you. People think, oh, wonderful up there in that warm climate, lying out by the pool. But you are constantly in a sauna.
Sweating, yeah.
And also, of course, the weather doesn't vary from day to day, does it? There's such a sameness about it.
Oh, no, all that happens in Singapore is that you just get, it's going to be fine today, or it might rain today. The temperature, they don't even give you the temperature anymore. No,
Would you go
exactly
back,
the same.
Would you go back?
Oh, I'd love it, yes.
Would you?
Look, I enjoy being in a studio, but to me, the real world is always out there, you know?
It's scary, though, out there. I have great admiration for people to go out there and mix in that sort of climate. It's a terrifying world. I travelled the East in the early days, and I almost died about 3 or 4 times, you know, various things that happened to me. I was very lucky to survive.
Interestingly enough, with Peter, it comes to mind that we have stand-up comedians, stand-up singers and stand-up comperes. You're the only stand-up journalist. We'll take a break. Peter and Barry are going to stay with us, and after this break we talk food with Stephen Downes. Back with you soon.
The deep down feeling about being overweight is would probably be being afraid that I won't be able to lose this weight. That's my biggest concern and my biggest fear. This is the first program I have been on that I've actually reached my goal weight, and I know that I won't put the weight back on because of all the support I've had from the counsellors at Jenny Craig. It's amazing now because feeling very, very good about myself, I can feel very good about other people and other things, so I feel tremendous.
Hi, I'm Jenny Craig, and I'm proud to introduce the new Jenny Craig Weight Loss Program to Australia. This new program is designed to help you lose weight enjoyably and keep it off permanently.
On Jenny's new program, you can lose all the weight you want for only $185. This is the best value weight loss program ever, so call today.
Nannies know how to turn their heads. Nannies know how to win their smiles. Nannies got Australia talking, and there's just one thing they've got to say. Nannies got Australia talking.
Blackberry and apple.
Nannies got Australia talking. Nannies got Australia talking.
Sultana cream.
Nannies got Australia talking. Nannies got Australia talking, and there's just one thing they got to say. Nannies, too good for words.
Instead of putting your money into a high-return, high-risk investment, you can put your money into a high-return, no-risk investment. A government-guaranteed gas loan. See newspapers for details.
Hello, I'm Peter Smith. Are you considering buying a hearing aid? Well, my advice to you is don't buy one before you read this. Hearing aids know your rights. It's got all the information you need to know about buying a hearing aid, and it will give you a better understanding of all the products and services that are available to you. Get your free copy by simply ringing Hidden Hearing on 842-3155, 842-3155. Don't buy a hearing aid before you read this booklet. It's free and obligation-free.
We'll fix you up with a nice little disguise.
Whatever Ronnie Barker's up to tonight, you can be sure poor old Granville's on the receiving end. You're a nice little thing.
It's them big almond eyes.
Oh, no, I haven't got big almond eyes, have I?
Then the bravest man in all of France takes on the Gestapo.
They may even take your wife and torture her in front of you.
Do not worry. I will tell them nothing.
Open all hours plus a lower load. Tonight on 7.
Welcome back. Peter Couchman and Barry Crocker are with us. Before that commercial break, I particularly stayed away from asking Barry why he happens to have that album there, but I'll have to make mention.
It's a funny thing, in the break, Peter and I just realised it's our birthday today, Bert.
Oh, well, many happy returns of the day from Jim McKay, yes?
I have a little surprise for you. I know I'd like to give you gifts, and I know that you've been flogging your album, Bert and Patty. I don't know if you're aware of this, because it was before you were married, but the Barry and Patty album was a very, very big seller, 811.
Hey! Oh, that is Patty, too.
Of course it is.
Wouldn't she love to look like that today? Look, when was that released?
Well, it was the late 60s, and I was seeing a little Patty in those days, of course.
Well, no one sees a lot of Patty, do they? What do you mean you were seeing a little of Patty? She was in your show.
At rehearsals, of course.
Yeah, good on you. Well, may I take that home?
Yes, of course.
OK, and Barry, I'd like you to accept, with my compliments, the Bert and Patty family.
This is what I was really aiming for.
Yes,
Thank you,
on
Bert.
you. At last, I've given it away. But not the record.
Another sunny.
Hey! Save it for later.
That's it. We're going to talk food. We're going to talk food. I told you before, John, when anybody sings on this show, including me, I'd like the audience to applaud, especially in my case. Good
Clap!
When it's John's birthday, we're going to buy him a nice sports jacket. We're going to talk food now with Australia's only national food critic. He writes for the Australian Financial Review, also for Gourmet Traveller and The Bulletin. Please welcome Stephen Downes. Now, before anyone says anything, I'd like to get in for my chop, with no pun intended.
With please.
Patrick's in Sydney, San Francisco Grill at the Hilton in Sydney, Empress of China, Flower Drum, Glow Glows down here. They're my favourite restaurants, right?
2 out of 6, I think.
2 out of 6.
No,
do you like all of those?
I like some of them. I like Flower Drum. I like San Francisco Grill up in Sydney. I don't think they're our best restaurants, but by any means.
We'll get to our best restaurants in a few moments' time, hopefully. What do you look for in a restaurant, Stephen?
What I look for, and I suppose I've got a bit blasé about this restaurant-going business, perhaps it's not what everybody out there looks for, but I look for a certain subtlety in the food, combinations of flavours, things like that that aren't in your average home cooking, that you go out to eat something that you can't eat at home and perhaps can't prepare at home.
How important is service?
It's important for me, but I think food comes first. When I score for the Financial Review out of 20, and 10 of those points go on food. So for me, service comes down the line. I think if you go out for an overall night out, an atmosphere type night, then service becomes important. I guess I'm looking first and foremost at the food, because that's what you pay for. That's what the big money goes into.
Stephen, I'm old enough to remember when I was a kid and I was working in the city, you went to cafes, not restaurants, and you had steak and an egg, maybe chicken, maybe fish, and invariably, the 3 things that you could choose from, main courses, and the entree was always soup or perhaps a seafood cocktail, and that was it. Plenty of white bread. Everyone had a wonderful time. We've got restaurants now. We've got a tremendous reputation worldwide in Australia. Everyone says that reputation has been gained and the change has been made because of the immigration policy of Australia back in the late 40s, early 50s. Is that true?
I don't think it is. I hate to be very controversial on this, but I have very firm views that I think most of the migrants who came out here brought with them a sort of cuisine that's really basically family cooking. If you look up in Lygon Street, you'll find it in many, many restaurants. Really top food on an international level, and you're quite right, we've got it in up to a dozen restaurants in Australia. Comes from having very good chefs, people with money to spend in restaurants, and critics too play a big part in writing about the subtlety of food, how it's put together. All these trends don't really come, or haven't really come, I think, from the migrant population. They come from very skillful operators that we've grown up ourselves. We've got in Melbourne a terrific restaurant Paysan. You will have heard of that. The guy comes from Warrnambool. You know, his mother was in Fletcher Jones sewing up trousers. He's a terrific chef, a very, very talented guy. He worked a bit in England and in France, but he's come back here and he's doing wonderful things.
In reading your work, Stephen, like any other food critic, but you've got to pay a lot of attention to yours for the reason I mentioned before, and that is that you're our only national writer of food and restaurants in Australia that I know of. I'm right in saying that, aren't I?
I think so, yeah.
What I don't believe is, I don't believe that at every restaurant you go to, they don't know who you are and you don't get preferential treatment and specialised food.
Well, in some places it's true. They do know who I am. I always book under an assumed name. For a long time it was Mr. Cole, and until late last year when I walked into the Windsor Hotel, into the grand dining room there, and the maitre d' opened the door and said, "Hello, Mr. Cole," knowing big smile on his face, knowing full well who it was, that it was me. So immediately changed my name to Charbon, which is French for coal, but there's nobody out there French, so it doesn't matter. They do know, but fortunately for critics, most of the hard work in food is done in the preparation, in the days before sometimes, but certainly in the hours before. And if a chef doesn't do that and doesn't do that well, then it doesn't matter if I bring a notebook out on the table and they can see me taking notes, the food will not improve. It cannot improve.
What's the worst thing that can happen to you in a restaurant? How bad do things have to get before you send the food back?
Well, everybody, by the way, should send the food back, but I don't, as a matter of principle, because it's my job to keep it and eat it and look at it.
And you're not paying for it, are you?
And I'm not paying for it, and I don't make a fuss about it. I just note what's there. But I think, as a matter of principle, one thing that Australians should learn to do is send the food back if they're not happy with it.
Oh, that's scary.
And say specifically
Have you done that,
why.
Oh, no.
Courage.
I don't have. I've always remembered that line. I worked at Sammy Lee's old nightclub in Sydney many, many years ago, and I was coming through the kitchen to do the show, and I remember the chef and the waiter looking through the door saying, "Look, he's eating it." I've never ever sent anything back, Billy. I won't eat it. Oh, that's scary.
That's beautiful. I think also, too, you'd have to be very gutsy to send anything back in a restaurant owned by the late Sammy Lee, because you could be in a lot of trouble.
Can I eat the food, kid? Get out of here.
Get out of here. Bang. What about the service that we touched upon before? How do we rate with other countries, the big countries of the world known for their cuisine?
I was just in Cannes over the 14th of July celebrations, actually, very lucky to be there, and went to 3 excellent restaurants in the south of France. And I think that our top restaurants are equally good as those. In all aspects, in the best restaurants in Australia, they are unparalleled. I think they're as good as anything we would get anywhere. Perhaps there are certain little things that change. I think they probably have more money in France to spend on decor, so they really lavish it up in certain places. But our best is as good as anything. I'm very proud to be a critic in Australia and to actually had, I believe, as other critics have, had something to do with a terrific improvement in recent years.
OK, well, I've nominated Empress of China, The Flower Drum, Glow-Glows, and I'd throw in also Branco's Florentino, as it was. And Parks I'd like to throw in too, because I'm going there soon. What about you, Stephen? Your favourite restaurants?
Well, I'm in a bit of a bind here. I've got a bit of a top 11 Australia-wide, and certainly in Melbourne, Restaurant Paysan that I mentioned before, Jacques Raymond's restaurant. I think Jacques is an outstanding chef, originally a Frenchman, now a naturalised Australian. He does marvellous stuff.
In Sydney?
No, this is in Melbourne.
What about Sydney?
Up in Sydney, I like a place called The Restaurant, little northern Italian place in the back streets of Ultimo, miles from anywhere except the Sydney Morning Herald building, so it's packed out with journalists, and if you don't mind people like them, like Peter and I, it's a terrific eat. The place called the Burdekin Hotel Dining Room, very simple little restaurant on the 3rd floor of an old hotel in Sydney is also excellent. Barara Waters Inn is outstanding for anybody who hasn't been there.
They're the sort of places I prefer, actually, because I've just got tired, as a general rule now, I don't do it anymore, going to the most expensive places where undoubtedly you may get exquisite cuisine. But I just feel I would prefer to go to those sort of places 3 times than go once to a very elegant
Go
place.
where you're going to enjoy yourself. Isn't that the most important rule?
Go where you're going to like it, where you're going for a specific night, a specific reason. I go, as I said very early that, you know, for particularly fine food. Other people might like to go out for other reasons, for a celebration or something. I still think that doesn't mean that we shouldn't get good food everywhere, and good food is good products that aren't abused in cooking them.
Right. Nice meeting you, Stephen. It's been great having you on the show for a number of reasons. Number one, because it was good to meet you and hear your opinions, and also I don't think mentioning those restaurants has done any of us any harm, has it, eh? For the future. Stephen Downs, ladies and gentlemen. And after this break, Colleen Hewitt is going to sing for
In 7 Nightly News, slapdash maintenance in the United States led to a terrifying ordeal for 100 passengers on a jetliner. The plane was forced to do a belly landing after chocks were left on the wheels. And 7, swearing. It's an Australian way of life, from prime ministers to premiers. But do we swear more than our ancestors? And if so, why? A bloody good story. Next on Hinge. 7 Nightly News at 6:30. Hinge at 7. Tonight on 7.
A few years ago, Kellogg and the Australian Institute of Sport developed Sustain, a breakfast cereal high in complex carbohydrates and scientifically balanced to provide sustenance and energy to meet the demands of training. However, when you think of everything you do in your day, couldn't you use a little sustained energy too? Kellogg Sustain keeps the energy in your day longer.
And since we began using health foods, the only thing that made us feel sick were the high prices. And then we discovered Natura at Safeway. All these health food and beauty products at supermarket prices. Lower priced vitamins, shampoos, nuts, dried fruits, decaffeinated tea and coffee, even natural cosmetics for my wife. And executive stress tabs for me.
Actually, they're for me.
Safeway. And that's what I call a supermarket.
The new season's furniture at Lawford's is up to the minute in style. There are stately grandfather clocks and this distinctive solid ash dining setting with extension table. For value, this genuine leather suite is hard to resist. So are the savings on this luxurious Lincoln solid maple bedroom suite. There's also a new release of Cone lounge suites and an extensive range of super-seated occasional tables up to 40% off. It's the season to save at Lawford's huge showroom, Dandenong Road, Springvale. Lawford's, quality furniture for less.
When you've got a nasty cough and you're feeling kind of rough, let's all take the Nile.
Because coughs and colds tend to run in the family, you need something all the family can take.
Let's all take the Nile. When your throat's just sort of smile when you're feeling kind of vile. Let's all take the Nile.
Nile Decongestant, a cough and cold treatment for all the family.
Let's all take the Nile.
I wouldn't mind a good bit of beef, is all I said. You got a beef, she screams. Starts hurling things at me. Well, I missed the first couple, but I caught this one. I&J Beefers. 100% beef, nothing else. No preservatives, nothing. Threw on a few chips, couple of peas, had myself a real nice meal.
Reckon I'm gonna win a few here tonight with these nice juicy burgers.
I&J Beefers. 100% beef, nothing else.
Just saying to Barry Crocker that he should be very nice to me because I'm sure I have more copies of his albums than anybody else in show business.
And now I have one of yours,
yes.
Bert. I'm very pleased.
How many have you made?
Well, it's somewhere between 19 and 21, because
Well,
I do compilations.
I would have about 15. I stopped collecting when you stopped sending them. But I have at least 15. Your partner in song is about to do a solo. I think she had the idea she might get in early before the requests come along, and the rest of us might sort of take over. Colleen Hewitt's at centre stage. She's going to sing Superstar. Here's Colleen.
And so far away, I fell in love with you before the second show. Your guitar, it sounds what's really here. It's just the radio. Don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby? Said you'd be coming back this way again, baby. Baby, 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 my baby. I love you. I really do. Loneliness is such a sad thing, and I can hardly wait to be with you again. What's to say to make you come again? Come back and play your sad guitar. Don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby? Said you'd be coming back this way again, baby. Baby, 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 my baby. I love you. I really
Colleen Hewitt, superstar. She's about to join us here in the couch area. We'll take a commercial break, and then we have a man with a fascinating story to tell us.
Armed robbery, shooting, he'd done the lot. But someone got his number as he fled the scene. The license number of a man who died 4 years ago. Maybe you can help solve the mystery. The tiny outback town where a shearer was bludgeoned to death. Police believe he knew his murderer. Somewhere in this little community, a killer could be hiding. The show that helps keep the crims off your street. Watch Australia's Most Wanted, Sunday, 7:30 on 7.
Bugged by bedding butterflies, boggled by bedroom bothers, bewildered by bunkhouse blues, don't be, beetle into bed bugs. Stylish Copenhagen brass and timber 4-piece bedroom suite at a low $19.95. Japanese-style futon on tubular base, just $3.99. Genuine brass maker queen-size Fremantle brass bed at a low price of $3.65. Backcare Mark 1 mattress and base sets at a low $2.95, $4.95 and $5.95. At Bedbugs, there are no so-called freebies, no confusing discounts, just the best beds at bedrock prices.
Nana's new savoury rolls will be perfect for your next barbecue, picnic or party, but...
Why wait? Don't wait. Life's a party, no need to wait. Try Nana's savory rolls today. Like them?
Love them.
Nana's got Australia talking about them. There's just one thing they've got to say. Nana's too good for words.
If driving your car is shaking you up more than you'd like and it's driving you all over the road, your tyres are wearing out faster than you'd ever imagined, your vehicle is not only unsafe, but it could require a wheel alignment fast. Lubemobile, the mobile mechanics, introduces an exclusive new wheel alignment service, combining state-of-the-art technology with highly qualified specialists that come to you wherever you are. Dial away your wheel alignment worries and call Lubemobile, the front-end specialists.
Arthritis pain can strike at any time, and the best treatment is mentholatum deep heat. It penetrates deep down for fast, temporary relief of pain, and it's been doing it for over 20 years.
Deep heat.
The deeper heat treatment. for arthritis.
The Lifestyle Suite by Innovator. Rearrangeable because of the detachable armrests. Just slot them in and make the suite do what you want it to. Armchairs, settees, a corner suite, even a bed. All covers, including the base cover, come off for cleaning, and for 9 years now we've supplied spare covers. Choose the look you want, summer or winter, traditional or modern. Simply brilliant, just like this coffee table which converts to a dining table. From Innovator, 565 Church Street, Richmond, opposite Bryant and May.
Welcome back. Colleen Hewitt has joined us. Lovely song, Colleen. I'll let you get your breath because you've got the big moment coming up soon with Barry and myself and Joe, piano player, is going to be with us. Just looking at the couch. Stephen had to leave us, unfortunately. Had to go to Perth to do a review on a restaurant over there. So those restaurateurs watching in Perth, be warned, he's on his way. And most of them had a pretty good life, haven't we? We've done nice things and had good families and enjoyed ourselves. Our next guest, 13 years ago, was told that he had only 2 weeks to live. But he refused to accept that diagnosis and did something about it. What he did about it, let him tell us. Please welcome Dr. Ian Gawler. The story of yours, which has been documented before on television, indeed in the Couchman program not all that long ago, just go through it for us. How long ago was it and what sort of effect did it have on you?
Getting to be a bit of a old story, Bert. I can happily say it goes back to the end of 1974 when I was found to have bone cancer and had my leg amputated at that time. And then the cancer reappeared towards the end of 75. And that's when things got to be pretty desperate for me. I got to the point in early 76 where I thought, medicos and myself thought it's possible I might only live for a few weeks, and it's nice to be here.
So what did you do?
Well, as it turned out, there wasn't an easy solution medically for me, so I had to look to my own resources. And with the help of my wife, Gail, we sought out ways of stimulating my own healing and my own immune system. And we did that through a combination of diet and positive thinking and meditation.
Does it work for everyone?
Well, I think we've been running support groups since '81. We've had about 5,000 people now come to our groups. And I think we can be very confident that it helps people in the way that they're living and in the quality of their life. And yeah, for a significant number of people, there have been remarkable recoveries. And I think a lot of people feel like they've extended their life for a lot longer than was imagined they would.
Peter, in preparing your excellent program on alternative medicine, did you find one of the problems is that so many people, they just balk completely at the very word cancer? Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
They can't say it.
Yes, indeed. But you know, I think one of the big problems with the treatment of cancer is that the orthodox treatments are so debilitating. I read a story just the other day, Ian, in fact, from Bitton in the country in Victoria. 14-year-old schoolboy got cancer. The community collected funds for him because they wanted to send him to your centre. And the boy said, I've had enough. Nothing. And so they're using the money now to send him to the States. He wants to go to Universal Studios and Disneyland and so on. I don't think he's given up, but he said, I've had enough of the chemotherapy. I'm so exhausted by it all. And I think he just then wasn't sufficiently motivated to get into meditation and the sort of disciplines that you impose on people with your treatment. I mean, this must be a problem, I would think. Is it?
I think there's a difficulty that, well, it's a lot to do with beliefs and what people value. And unfortunately, in recent years, I think what's happened is that technology's been so exciting and so successful in a lot of areas of our health that people are still hoping that there'll be an easy solution and like a magic bullet for cancer. And I guess what we're looking at is more how people can use what's available medically, certainly, but then add to that with their own resources and do what they can for themselves. And we have a great trust in the body's ability to heal itself given the right conditions.
Ian, with the research you've done and with the observation you've done on other people's research, do you feel you understand what causes cancer?
Well, I think we're a lot clearer, certainly, than we were a decade ago. And a decade ago, people thought you got cancer because of bad genes. You know, you got it from your parents. And I think very clearly in the last decade, it's become obvious that you actually get cancer more from your environment and things like the way we eat, whether we smoke or not, what sort of things we're exposed to in our workplace and in our community have a much more significant effect on whether we get cancer or not. And in fact, a lot of the medical authorities now are saying that cancer is a highly preventable illness. And
what do you have to do? Just watch your diet?
well, see, they say that about 30% of all the cancers that we see these days directly relate to smoking. So if we took smoking out of the community, we could reduce cancer by 30%.
But what about the argument that comes along? Someone said, I've got an uncle, he's 97 years of age and he smoked 80 cigarettes a day since he was 13 and, you know, they can't keep him away from the brewery.
And I bet he's as happy as all get out.
Well, he'd have to be, wouldn't he?
Well, I don't know. So I think a lot of people could be happy doing that.
That's like, I guess, like running across roads, main roads, and just because you're not hit by a tram doesn't mean to say it's a good thing to do.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at the statistics, there's no doubt. I mean, again, with diet, most medical authorities are saying at least a third of our cancers and perhaps even 40-60% of cancers directly relate to dietary factors. And I think that, again, is one of the exciting things that's coming out recently, is that if we do make reasonable changes in our diet, we can, again, expect to cut down the incidence of cancer dramatically. So if we eat a diet that concentrates on the fruits and the vegetables and the grains, which I think everybody is saying is the right way to go, we could, again, reduce illness dramatically.
Well, you're living proof that it can be done. Do you still feel that every day is a bonus, Ian?
Oh, it's great to be around. There's no doubt about it. It's lovely to be alive. And I think that's one of the... Perhaps that's another great message that comes out of the cancer experience. You know, I think that often when things are going well, people just roll along and they take things pretty much for granted. And in fact, having a potentially life-threatening illness come into your life really does make you value life. Question what you're doing, question your priorities and say, is this really the best I can be doing with my life?
Good advice in any way, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't matter
Well,
if you're talking about cancer or anything, it's a good attitude to have.
Well, I think that's what's come out of our work with lots of cancer patients, Bert, that what we're looking at is how people can live to the best of their ability and how they can get the best out of their lives. Well, I mean, we find things like stress management so important and developing a positive attitude. You know, what you believe is what you get to a large degree. Your whole attitude to life. And we've learnt that from working through, working with a lot of cancer patients whose life's really been on the line. And then to look at that and say, well, how does it apply to people who are well? It's just nice to see so many people taking account of their lifestyle and actually living well, getting the best out of their lives these days.
Ian, you can stay with us for the rest of the show. Lovely. Dr. Ian Gawler, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you. It's nice to have Wayne King here too. Wayne is going to a Schimmel to play for us Crosshand Boogie. Please welcome Wayne King. we're back with you after this break.
The Academy Award-winning actress.
I'm pregnant.
The ruthless Hollywood tycoon.
I killed him for you.
The movie legend who fell in love.
But I don't ever want to let you go again.
The English aristocrat who risked her family's name.
Victor, I love you so desperately.
The gossip columnist.
Upper class bitch.
The jealous wife.
I said that I would never let you go, and I meant it.
The betrayed husband.
You're evil.
The Seven Network's brilliant production of Barbara Taylor Bradford's Voice of the Heart starts Sunday.
At Coles and Garrard, we've always understood how important it is to choose just the right pair of glasses.
An hour?
Bob chooses 1 hour service. Sally
Oh, with
could
those?
choose all day.
No. No.
1 hour service for Bob.
Oh, yes.
For Sally, Coles and Garrard, as you've always known us.
Yeah, the pair you said. Now, is this Mr. Coles or...
Coles and Garrard, always your best choice.
Look, Mummy! It's Devondale country!
Devondale country. Hello, dear. Like to taste some Devondale coffee? Yes, please.
the best cheese in the country. Mild, vintage and tasty. Australian Colby too.
Tastes sort of different, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can taste the Devondale country, can't you? Devondale, the country cheese that's come to town.
I get a kick out of life. I get a kick when I'm kicking it high. And I get a kick out of kicks. I get a kick out of flying high. And I get a kick out of kicks.
Get your kicks at an everyday price by Colitex.
The new season's furniture at Lawford's is up to the minute in style. There are stately grandfather clocks and this distinctive solid ash dining setting with extension table. For value, this genuine leather suite is hard to resist. So are the savings on this luxurious Lincoln solid maple bedroom suite. There's also a new release of Cone lounge suites and an extensive range of super-seated occasional tables up to 40% off. It's the season to save at Lawford's huge showroom, Dandenong Road, Springvale. Lawford's, quality furniture for less.
Great goal, champ. Let's go home.
It's Big Ben time.
Hope there's one for me, Mum. Terrific. Great pie, Mum.
Oh, don't tell me you're still hungry.
No, but I think there's someone at the door.
Big Ben, when your tummy tells you it's time.
Order in the House, please. I call the House to order, please. Very important for me to call the House to order because our next guest is the Speaker of the House of Representatives here in Australia. Please welcome Mrs. Joan Child. Well, the one thing I didn't check out is, how do I refer to you?
Joan's usually a good way.
Call you Joan? Not Madam Speaker?
Oh, no, I keep that for Canberra.
OK. When you broke all that new ground of being the first female to be the House of Representatives Speaker, it must have been a huge challenge. Was it nervous times for you?
Oh, heavens, yes. If anyone said they weren't nervous doing that, they wouldn't be telling you the truth. Of course I was nervous. First woman, if I'd laid an egg, it would have been a national egg.
Exactly. How do you keep them in order? Because some of those guys are pretty rugged, aren't they? And they're naughty boys.
Well, I don't usually talk about them. I find that the best way.
Yeah. Of course, in your position, I mean, we can't refer to names,
No.
etc., because that is against the...
Well, it would be
Do you have any
improper.
favourites?
Now, if I say yes, you're going to say, who are they?
That's right.
Well, yes, I do have favourites, and I think a lot of people don't realise that Question Time is very much like your show. It's a theatre, and the curtain goes up, the galleries are full, the press galleries are full, and everybody's in there, and everybody wants to make a mark.
Yeah.
So it's really like first night at the theatre.
Yeah, and I suppose, I mean, layback people like Wilson Tuckey, I mean, they never take advantage of the situation, do they? Or Paul Keating or any of those people.
Next question.
You know, it's something which I guess a lot of people would question, certainly not in your era of being the House of Reps Speaker, but there seems to be something that can go wrong when you choose somebody from a political party, particularly someone who has been elected by their electorate to go to Canberra, and all of a sudden they find themselves not only in control in the House of that party, but also other parties. How hard is it to be completely and utterly fair?
Not as hard as you'd imagine. In England, of course, the Speaker usually eschews the party to which they belong and become neutral or non-political. Australian speakers have never been independent. Every member of the House of Reps is elected on a political ticket. So, of course, you do have a dependence on a political party.
Mm-hmm.
But believe me, you start sitting in that chair up there and you've got 147, some here and some there, and you're the umpire virtually. It's not difficult to be impartial.
And how often do you have to consider giving a free kick?
Problems, the problems don't come from one side of the House. Well, I've got an order off rule. I don't have a free kick rule.
What happened recently in Queensland, and without being disrespectful, it just appears that anything can happen in Queensland at the moment, politically. Just hypothetically, if that occurred in Canberra, all of a sudden you've got no speaker there. So far as the Constitution is concerned, what happens? Who's in command?
Well, I guess the Deputy Speaker would take over.
Was there no deputy in Queensland?
I don't know.
Obviously not.
I don't know how they operate there.
Nor do I.
They don't sit very often, so they hardly need.
What's it, 48 days a year or something? Isn't
We
it?
have a Deputy Speaker, and he's elected also by the House. You know, it used to be a very dangerous occupation. Back in 1377, the first Speaker was literally dragged into the chair because the Parliament was flexing its muscles and decided that the King couldn't have everything his own way. So they put the Speaker there to be the go-between, the Parliament and the monarch. And, well, kings, of course, in those days didn't like that. Some of them lost their heads and some of them were imprisoned in the Tower and some disappeared, never heard of again. One, a bit more perspicacious than the others, he set up his own guard and he used to thunder along the cobblestones with his own protection. And we have the hangover of that now still in the House of Commons, where the Speaker comes in protected.
Right.
And we used to have it here, but I don't feel under any threat, so I just walk in.
Yeah. For some reason, when you were explaining that era, I had a mind picture of Gough Whitlam for some reason. Especially in 1975, when you weren't Speaker. But in 1975, it was quite a day on the 11th of the 11th, wasn't it?
Yes, it certainly was.
I mean, there it was an interesting situation. You had your Prime Minister, who had the brief to lead his party in government. All of a sudden, he simply became the member of his electorate.
That's right.
And it was fascinating listening. It was also terrifying because no one realised what was going to happen to this country. On a situation like that, and I'm sure it couldn't occur again, but the pressures that must be placed on a Speaker would be very hard to cope with, surely.
Yes, I think they would have been, although we had Gordon Scholes at the time, and he was a very...
Courier member.
Yes, he was a very good Speaker. But yes, the pressures put on a Speaker at times are fairly great. I mean, the standing orders, we don't alter them very often, and some of them are out of date and some of them contradict one another, and I have no jurisdiction over them at all. The members make up the standing orders and they give them to the Speaker and say, now, run the House.
Yeah. Away from the House, away from politics, I believe that you're a great Elvis Presley fan.
Yes, I am. I'm also a great gardener and a great cook.
Yeah.
And I'm also not modest.
Even though you say it yourself. I'm also being told, I can't believe that, is today your birthday?
Yes, it is.
Look, my executive producer over yonder, Jim McKay, he's basically our Speaker of the House, and part of standing orders now is we're not allowed to celebrate birthdays, but it just so happened that I managed to find some CDs, the Sun Sessions of Elvis and Elvis in Nashville. Now, is it permitted for us to give the House Speaker some presents? Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Many happy returns of the day. Joan Clark. Happy birthday to you, Joan. Thanks for being on the show. We're going to take a break now. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ask the mob here on the couch if you wouldn't mind departing, because we need to get in our sight screen so I can talk to James Whittaker in London. That happens after this break.
Good afternoon, Simone Simmons in the newsroom. This morning's talks between the state government and unions have failed to resolve the deadlock over reforms to work care. A Trades Hall Council meeting will vote tonight on whether or not to proceed with a second statewide stoppage planned for next Tuesday, August the 8th. I'll be back with more news in an hour.
7 Nightly News at 6:30. Hinch at 7. Weeknights on 7.
Naturally tasty. Alavita, oh so very good.
Perfect for your busy day. News for any time of day.
Alavita, new from Carnation.
Because Clive Built sell direct from the factory, you get higher quality without higher prices. On low-cost front-only wardrobes or fully lined styles, our qualified cabinet makers will visit your home without obligation to help you choose the best style and layout for you. You get a 10-year guarantee and interest-free terms are available too. See the full range of Clive Built wardrobes, unit furniture and shower screens at our Noble Park factory showroom.
Ring this number for a free measure and quote.
Because if it's Clive Built, you'd know it's not Jerry Built.
Since I made this video with Foster Parents Plan, many third world children, their families and their communities have been given a life full of hope, thanks to hundreds of Australians who have seen how their small contribution can release people from desperate poverty. If you haven't seen this video, I urge you to phone this number now and we'll send it to you free, so that you, like myself and many other Australians, can give a life of hope to a third world child. Phone now, please.
Instead of putting your money into a high-return, high-risk investment, you can put your money into a high-return, no-risk investment. A government-guaranteed gas loan. See newspapers for details.
Still one of the world's richest sources of vitamin B.
Uh-oh. Harry's going to open this carton of milk. Watch this. He tore the lid. Uh-oh. It's going everywhere. Watch it, Harry. If only Harry had a juggler. The clever little jug that is so versatile. It's a 3-in-1 marvel. Liquid storer, milk jug, juice squeezer, all in one. Juggler. What a clever little jug. You need never cry over spilt milk again, Harry. Juggler from Domestics.
Welcome back. Thank you, thank you. As you can see, all by my lonesome, and they do a good job, don't they? Good cheap labour we had, and nice people. And the gang's out there. I suppose they've gone to the green room, but they'll be back very soon. After I speak to one of our regulars on the show, we cross now to London, where our royal correspondent is waiting to fill us in on the latest developments in the saga of Andrew and Fergie. Please welcome in London, James Whittaker. Hello. Welcome again, James. It's good to talk to you.
Thank you.
How's the tour of Canada?
Well, fairly hectic. We went from the far east coast in the maritime provinces right through to Edmonton, which is in the Wild West, where everybody wears cowboy boots and Stetsons. And Andrew and Fergie, who went to a barbecue one night, didn't deck themselves out very well till they were forced into it by the press, and they put a couple of hats on. Then we got some pictures out of them.
James, this was called the Touching Tour. Why?
Yeah. Because these two are very raunchy and very physical, and they like to grab a hold of each other at every occasion, which is remarkable. I've covered a lot of tours in my time now, Bert, and I have never seen the physical contact that there was between these two. And I remember once in New Zealand in 1983, in fact, when Charles and Diana were there, and Charles grabbed hold of Diana's backside as they went into a reception, and she squealed really loud and turned round and said, "Don't do that." And Charles dropped his hand and looked very embarrassed. Now, the difference with Andrew and Fergie is that when Andrew grabs hold of Fergie, she loves it, and she snuggles up even closer. So there was a lot of physical contact.
And of course, I mean, without wanting to be rude, in this particular case, there's more to grab, isn't there? It would never do for... I was just going to say, it would never do for the Queen and the Duke, but then again, of course, the Duke would find it very hard because he's always 3 steps behind her.
That's right. These two walk very much alongside one another, and it was interesting on the tour, again, which I've never seen, a number of speeches which the Duke, Andrew, was due to make. He, in fact, never made them. He made Fergie go forward, and she made the speech on his behalf, which is, again, extraordinary, but people liked it. And, of course, in the last 2 days of their trip, one made a speech one night, and Fergie did the second, and there was this tremendous public declaration of love for one another. She the Duchess, you know, described him as not only a great husband, but my best friend, and I thought actually that was a very nice touch, that.
James, any comment this time around about the babe not going?
Yes, it dominated the early part of the tour. I personally think it was a mistake, but I'm told by both the Duchess herself and the Duke, plus their family, that it would have been wrong to take Beatrice. You know, that there was too much travel and it was too tiring for her. I don't go along with that one bit. I think they'd have got a far better press, and it was quite good, a bit like the curate's egg, good at times, but they'd have had a far better one if Beatrice had appeared. And all they've got to do, for goodness sake, is to put a nanny on the plane with the baby, and the nanny moves around, and then that's very relaxing for Fergie in the evening. And of course she paid the ultimate price in the end, because while she was in Canada, Bea took her first 5 steps, and she wasn't there to see that, and I think she will regret that all her life.
James, I'm told by little Birdie that you had a bit of a blue during the tour.
Yes, I'm afraid, with an Aussie, a guy called Jeff Crawford, who's in the Australian diplomatic service, and he is seconded to the Duke and Duchess as a press secretary. His proper title is Assistant Press Secretary to the Queen. And on the final night at the barbecue that I've already mentioned in Saskatoon, in Saskatchewan, they both arrived looking, well, he certainly looked as if he came out of Savile Row with just an open-neck shirt and ordinary trousers, and there was nothing to suggest that it was a Western-style party at all. The Duchess, she made a bit more of an effort, but still didn't look very countrified. And when they'd gone in, the photographers, and I don't take pictures, but it very much forms part of my story, had really got absolutely nothing worth having. And then there was the suggestion that the Duke and Duchess might have danced. And I did lead a protest, A, to say that if they dance, we should be present, and B, they really should do something to prove that they were at a Western-style party. Now, the press officials didn't like this particularly being said, and I had to point out to them that for 6 months now, the Yorks have had one of the worst presses that any member of the royal family have ever had, and it was about time they pulled their fingers out. I said it's slightly stronger than that, and got on and got some decent publicity, because everybody was looking to help and to do pictures and to give them a good press. And I said, really, you guys, you're just not doing your job. You're not producing anything. You're not helping in any way. You're not projecting. You're not marketing these people. And he didn't particularly like this, so we did have a bit of a set to. And the Mounties, because yes, they're Mounties who were accompanied, stood there open mouthed as this Barney went on. But I must say, I think I won in the end, because about half an hour later, both the Duke and Duchess did appear wearing Stetson hats at least. But I think these guys have to be told this. They treat the royal family as if they're eggs, and they're going to break any second. They don't mind having sensible suggestions put. People around them just seem too frightened to do it, and it's dreadful.
You should have mentioned my name to Jeff. He's my brother-in-law.
He's a very nice guy, but he's out of his depth doing that job.
He's also not my brother-in-law. I'm being reminded now to ask you about the Queen Mum. She celebrates her birthday very soon. What, her 84th birthday would it be?
No,
89th.
way after. 89.
Yeah.
She literally is as old as the century.
Right.
And of course, that was another nightmare for Andrew and Fergie, having to follow the Queen Mum to Canada, because she'd been there the week before and was an absolute riotous success. She's fabulous. She's in London at the moment. She always celebrates her birthday at Clarence House, which is her official home just down the road from Buckingham Palace. Then the following day, she goes up to the Castle of May, which is right up in the northernmost tip of Scotland, and it's the home that she went to as a certain amount of reclusiveness about her following the death of King George VI, and that is her private home, and she goes there with a couple of friends, one of whom is often Princess Diana's grandmother, Ruth Lady Fermoy, and they go there and they have about 3 weeks there where they go walking on the beach and they have a marvellous time. All, of course, her corgis go with her, and then later they go down to Balmoral and spend time there with the Queen. But, I mean, she is so sound at the moment. She walks well. She's in great health, Bert. She is an absolute joy to see, and, of course, that smile is marvellous. And she's got this wonderful trick with photographers of doing a semi-arc with her hand and smiling, so every single one gets a picture. And even the young ones who get a bit nervous in her presence, she will hold steady for another 2 or 3 seconds, face them, so they get their picture too. She really is fantastic.
Well, I suppose if there is any such thing as reincarnation, I'm sure you'd agree, James, that it would be wonderful to come back as a royal corgi.
Yeah, they do eat out of silver bowls in the drawing room, yes. Not a bad one.
OK, James, lovely talking to you. You're now going away on a holiday, aren't you?
I'm going to the south of France for 3 weeks, yes.
Well,
I guess... spot I'm sure you know.
Yeah, I guess someone has to do it, eh?
Yes, quite.
Talk to you soon, James.
Thank you, Bert.
In London, we spoke then to James Whittaker. We'll take this break and we're right back with you with Couch again.
Theirs was a forbidden love.
Why don't you become a communist and come back to Russia with me?
A love that would jeopardize the security of the Western world.
Don't you think it's a bit odd? This man choosing you out of the whole island?
Set against a background of tension.
I believe that I will be able to recruit her.
And international intrigue.
What have you been doing?
Julie Andrews, Omar Sharif.
We're in terrible danger.
The Tamarind Seed, presented by Sharp, 8:30 Friday on 7.
Super Sandwich Maker is my family's favourite. They love the taste, and I'm happy because it's full of natural goodness they need.
Buttercup, buttercup, buttercup. Come on, Fee. Can I have the crunchy one?
He means new Willow Valley Toasted Oat Bran. After reading about Oat Bran and its benefits, Mum makes sure we have Willow Valley Oat Bran for breakfast.
Hey, hope there's enough for us.
It's high in soluble fibre, the fibre our body needs most. Thanks, Mum. Willow Valley Toasted Oat Bran, so crunchy. I love it.
And now there's new Willow Valley Oat Bran Bubbles.
The fun of bubbles, the goodness of Oat Bran.
I've seen the stress arranging a funeral can put on families in grief, and I knew there had to be a better way, which is why our fixed-price funeral plan offers such peace of mind. The funeral is arranged in advance, the way you want it, and paid for at today's prices, which means you save your family a lot more than just stress. Talk to us now. There's no obligation.
Look, Mummy! It's Devondale country!
Devondale country. Hello, dear. Like to taste some Devondale coffee?
Devondale,
Yes,
the
please.
best cheese in the country. Mild, vintage and tasty. Australian Colby, too.
Tastes sort of different, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can taste the Devondale country, can't you? Devondale, the country cheese that's come to town.
Hello, I'm Peter Smith. Are you considering buying a hearing aid? Well, my advice to you is don't buy one before you read this. Hearing aids know your rights. It's got all the information you need to know about buying a hearing aid, and it will give you a better understanding of all the products and services that are available to you. Get your free copy by simply ringing Hidden Hearing on 842-3155, 842-3155. Don't buy a hearing aid before you read this booklet. It's free and obligation-free. Have a look.
And where were you naughty people in the green room, eh? Having a cup of tea for your birthday. OK, now is the moment that we've all been waiting for. It's Songs Around the Piano. Doesn't it reek of me? I'd like you to make welcome Colleen Hewitt and Barry Crocker with Joe. Thank you, Joe. Lovely. Lovely, mate. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now, the idea of the segment is firstly to get a new pianist. OK, Joe. Lovely. That's it. Lovely. Very, very nice indeed. Almost as good as Monday. Different key, I notice. Anyway, we're going to ask the audience members to call out any request that you'd like to hear. Barry, Colleen, or the band, or Joe, or whatever. If you want a musician, one of the boys there. If you want just a very nice Italian boy, Joe's here. Colleen, anything at all. Just call out. All of me, I hear. Was that all of me? All of me? Did you take that, Colleen?
You can join me as well, okay?
Who said all of me, by the way? Just to make sure it's legitimate. There's a lady over there who's... Yeah. What's your name?
Donna.
Donna? Donna. This is for Donna. All of me.
Donna, oh, Donna, all of me. Yeah. Why not take all of me? Can't you see? I'd be nothing without you. Do you know the rest?
Bit of Johnny Ray. Take my lips. I never use them. And take my heart, but don't abuse them. Your goodbye, left me with eyes that cry. How can you ever get along without you? I think we'll leave it there. You took the part.
That once was my heart.
I didn't know I was going to be in this.
So why not take all of me?
Yeah! Isn't that lovely? They included me. Okay. How thrilling that was. The first request, and I got to be part of it. Okay, second one now. Yes.
As time goes by?
As time goes by, one of my favourites. As time goes by, you'd like to... No, here's Barry.
You must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply. As time goes by, into the bridge, moonlight and love songs never out of date. Hearts full of passion, jealousy and hate. Woman needs man and man must have his mate. Good key. This no one can deny. It's still the same old story. A fight for love and glory. A case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers together as time goes by.
Okay. On this special birthday day, there's a lady up there, she's got her hands up. The lady in the lovely...
Making whoopee.
Making whoopee. Oh, well, now, I'll tell you what. See, yeah, well, seeing the... Oh. Hey, that's my arrangement. Oh, I can't do it. Second song, can I?
Yes.
Another bride, another groom, another sunny honeymoon, another reason, 'cause it's the season for making whoopee. Well, just leave it. Well, that's enough of that. I'll do it again. It's a little bit of applause there, yes. Lovely, there we go. When you've got two fine singers like that, you don't want to hear me all day, do you? Do you? OK, right. Another song. There's a girl up there, I'm told, in the brownish jacket who's celebrating a birthday. Stand up, if you will. We can't give you a cake because we're not allowed to, but we wish you a very happy birthday. Have you got a song you'd like to hear?
Wind beneath my wing.
The Wind Beneath My Wings. That might be just a little difficult. Because it needs... You'd need the full arrangement and everything there, wouldn't you?
do a verse.
OK, sure. Wind Beneath My Wings. What's your name?
Michelle.
Oh, look at Joe.
Name?
Michelle. Michelle.
This will be very in, but Ronnie Rosenberg, eat your heart out. Look, up there. What's her name?
Your name? Michelle.
Michelle. This is for Michelle. Here's Colleen.
Just follow me, Joe. Just as the chorus part. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I'd like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle. That you are the wind beneath my wings.
Yeah. Happy birthday. Oh, look, this segment is going to take off. This segment is going to take off. That's not the most flattering shot for anyone. Can we get over there, maybe? Lovely. Just a nice little shot. Yeah, that's... No, even here. Just try that. See, that's lovely. Yeah, that's beautiful. Also, you cut the other two out, you see. If you'd like to hear a song on this show, all you have to do is write to Bert's request, care of the station. You're now watching. Do you enjoy doing it?
Yes, it's good fun.
Good fun. Thank Barry Crocker and Colleen Hewitt, will you? And next week we'll do it again. We'll see you after this break.
Is Bob Hope really the father of Rose? And what are the guys hiding from the girls? The Golden Girls plus Full House, Friday on 7.
There's nothing as delicious as my wholesome nut loaf. Of course, now I can make it even healthier by spreading it with new Flora Light.
New Flora Light, a low cholesterol, salt-reduced spread. It has the same lovely Flora taste, but more than a third less fat.
Now, if Flora Light has more than a third less fat, surely that means I can have a little more nut loaf.
New Flora Light, another one of the best things in the country.
I've been researching the facts, and the clinical tests prove there isn't a pain reliever more gentle to the stomach than Panadol. Panadol from Winthrop has pure paracetamol, so Panadol provides effective relief from headache, pain, and fever. And you know you can trust it. But remember, always use Panadol only as directed. And please, see your doctor if pain persists.
Great goal, champ. Let's go home.
Oh, it's Big Ben time.
Hope there's one for me, Mum. Terrific. Great pie, Mum.
Oh, don't tell me you're still hungry.
No, but I think there's someone at the door.
Big Ben, when your tummy tells you it's time.
The new season's furniture at Lawford's is up to the minute in style. There are stately grandfather clocks and this distinctive solid ash dining setting with extension table. For value, this genuine leather suite is hard to resist. So are the savings on this luxurious Lincoln solid maple bedroom suite. There's also a new release of Cone lounge suites and an extensive range of superseded occasional tables up to 40% off. It's the season to save at Lawford's huge showroom, Dandenong Road, Springvale. Lawford's, quality furniture for less.
Look, Mummy! It's Devondale country.
Devondale country.
Hello, dear. Like to taste some Devondale coffee?
Devondale,
Yes,
the
please.
best cheese in the country. Mild, vintage and tasty. Australian Colby, too.
Tastes sort of different, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can taste the Devondale country, can't you? Devondale, the country cheese that's come to town.
My Foolish Heart, the story of a girl who becomes pregnant and then finds that her soldier lover has been killed. Susan Hayward and Dana Andrews co-star in My Foolish Heart, Thursday's afternoon movie here on Channel 7.
As we say goodbye to you, tomorrow we have Barry Jones with us, Paul Jennings and a walking fish. And Barry just mentioned that it would be very nice for someone to do a song for Joan, seeing that it's her birthday today. She's an Elvis fan. You've got a minute, Bazza. What could you do?
Where's Joe? In the key of C. A 1, a 2, a buckle my shoe and...
Oh, Teddy Bear!
My baby, let me be your loving teddy bear. You pull your chain around my neck. You leave me anywhere, oh, let me be. Oh, teddy bear. Baby, baby, let me be around you every night. You pull your chain around my neck. I don't let me be, oh, let me be.
Yeah! Ho ho! Yeah. Folks, there's been a... Just hang on 1 second. There's been a change of address for the request segment, right to Barry's request to get the station watching. Lovely combination one day, perhaps you, Kamal and I doing the request segment.
God bless you.
Can you imagine?
Bert. God bless you.
God bless you too, Barry. And God bless everybody for being on the show today. Happy birthday again, Joan. Hope you love that song by Barry. We'll see you at the same time tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, and God bless you. See you.
On the Park. This has been a Jim McKay production for the Australian Television Network. The Bert Newton Show was brought to you by the new Jenny Craig weight loss program. Now more than ever, it's the Australian way to lose weight.
Do 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 do.